Again, please don't call me arrogant, because what I'm saying
Jose,
is
thank you.
I think I'm a special one.
I thought this would link nicely to our regular segment, the best league in the world, right? Draymond's complaining about how NBA players are treated, right? My question is simple. Would you rather be an NBA player or a Premier League player? Simple as that. I'm going to go first, and I'm going to say a Premier League player. The reason I'm going to say that is because I think, firstly, it is a bigger sport. I think being a footballer gives you the scope to carve out an international legacy as well. Can move through Europe. If your level drops off, you can still work in the second division, third division with some relative clout, build your way back up. I think you have a chance at a longer career. From what I can see, I think you've got a chance at a longer career. I think you've got a chance at a more varied career. And as I said, you can reach out to more people. I think in other ways it is worse. But my instinct said that if I had to choose right now, I'd say probably a Premier League footballer. I want to see how you guys have thought about it, because the thing I like about this show is that all of us kind of think same, but different in terms of how we reason things. So I'm going to throw it to K.Dot first. So I mentioned to him earlier in the day. So he's been having time to think about it. What do you think are the key differences between an NBA player and a Premier League player? And ultimately, which one would you go with?
I think there's a lot of similarities between the two. But as you said, the fact there isn't sort of any room for scope in the NBA. Like if you're not doing well at one team, when they cut you, you're either going to the G League or going to China, and you can make a nice living there. But the level of drop off, I remember listening to somebody, I can't remember who it was. They said that they felt like Kobe in China. So, I mean, if you're going to be a big fish in a small pond, then, that might be the place for you. I actually think I'd be an NBA player, I think that just from a role standpoint, I think that you can carve your niche as an NBA player. From the respect that, you could actually just be a 3-and-D guy and make a lot of money from doing that.
Oh, you're so right.
Like in football, I think, I don't know, whether you can really carve out a niche necessarily. And you could have a great career like Gary Neville, but I don't know.
In football, you couldn't carve out a niche. I'm just really good at crossing. You have to still be
it just doesn't happen. You need an overall game for you to be successful. Actually, in the NBA, you could just I don't know, you could just be a great rebounder like Dennis Rodman and just get paid.
The board man gets paid. Karim, you're actually right. I got to stick with my choice because I made the choice. But actually, looking back, I probably would do that, man. Who wants to be a star, man? I'd literally just shoot threes.
Just
be a little Duncan Robinson.
Player just go on the floor. Just grab every rebound. So I think, and I think as well is that because you can carve out your own little niche in the league, it's probably less wear and tear on your body, and you can have a really good 20-25 year career and just make that money. Look at JJ Redick, look at Kyle Korver, look what Duncan Robinson's doing in the league. I just think you don't need to be an explosive athlete anymore for you to just, to carve out a nice little career for yourself.
Tobes, what do you reckon? You always think left field at all these things.
I mean, K.Dot kind of touched on how good are we in our profession? That was going to be my question.
You can choose. You can choose.
Because if I'm at the top, if I'm let's say top 5 player in my respective sport. Oh my God, that is tough.
Well, I was thinking if you had to choose right now, I'm coming in, I'm 18, 19-year-old. Someone's guaranteed me a career in the NBA or career in and around the Premier League. And the level, it's just your career, the wholeness of your career. You might not become a star, but you'll have to navigate the league. You'll have to navigate contracts.
You just started your pro player.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
You're not quite sure where you're going. All right. Oh man, it's versus the draft on 2K. Oh man, that is tough.
You stressed.
Like the roots, man. We're British boys, you know what I mean? The roots has always been football. Football's always been the game, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so that's like deep inside. If you could tell young Toes, man, you can be a Premiership baller. I mean, come on,
Yeah,
like
done.
that's it. You know what I mean? Like, and like you said, right? Like, once you've cracked that Prem stuff, all you gotta do is present. All you gotta do is impress one of these coaches.
Oh, mate, and your English as well. You're worth
Rub off
25
Roy
mil.
Hodgson, you know. Oh, don't worry. Or Harry Redknapp. You're like, don't worry, mate. I'm like, you know, I'm Nigerian. You know, I got that pace, and then that's it. I'll be in that rotation of all these like teams forever, and I'm cushy.
That's the thing, man. You're just like Andros Townsend. You're just still there.
You know what I mean? I'm just there. Pub quiz knowledge. Oh, how many assists? 50 assists and he joined the 100 goals Premiership club. Oh, really? Didn't know that. But the thing is, that's all sick. But if the promise of there's something so like luxurious and the glamour and sexiness of the NBA
being literally a baller.
Oh my god! You're hanging with legit like
Hollywood.
Imagine this, right? Because this is why I'm having such a hard time answering this question. The precipice of the game, I think people love you for your art, your craft in football. Like the fans love you more, right? The fans love you, but in basketball, celebs love you. Yeah. So it's not just fans, but celebs. You go courtside. Rihanna is LeBron's stan.
Yeah, that's mad. Yeah.
Deep that.
Yeah, you guys look that up. Look it up. Rihanna and LeBron.
She will cuss any fan that comes for LeBron. And I'm not saying we'd be on LeBron's level, but I'm saying that's the potential reach and power you have. So raw. You know what? Just I haven't answered your question probably at all, and I could convince myself either way back and forth. But just to stay true to like 4-year-old Tobes, I'll say Premiership footballer.
Yeah, you know what? I think we should do a whole nother one on in terms of being a star footballer, a star basketball player. But I think star basketball player, something different. It's just something different. It's something different, man. Ollie, what do you reckon? What's your instinct saying? Is it better to be a basketball player or a football player?
Yeah, it all goes down to what level that you're looking at. Because the way I sort of decided, if I was I wasn't at the top, but I wasn't at the bottom. I was just sort of like floating in the middle somewhere. And I'm not giving myself, I'm not looking that great this pod, but I've just looked at it in a real lazy way. I could not do with the travelling in the NBA, flying back and from the heavy load schedules.
That's true.
It's been away because when you listen to sort of like the basketball players, like even when they're at home, they're not really ever in their actual own house in the county or in the state that they live in. It's literally only in the off season. You know, footballers, you can go to your games, drive home afterwards.
Coach there, coach back, done.
Yeah, exactly. It's all cushy. I could not be getting on a plane 70% of my life.
Oh my days, you're that guy.
Flying around. I am that guy.
You're the Shaq. Just couldn't keep himself in shape. Like Ollie could have been a legend.
I couldn't be. Even I was given the gift by God, as technically the greatest player of all time. I just could not keep fit.
Ollie's that guy. Oh, I love that. That was just too much. Ollie was the Anthony Bennett. The former number 1 draft pick, like 2 years later, he's out of the league. Like, what happened to him?
Yeah, like Maradona, but like right at the end of his career.
From the beginning.
Yeah, just cut out like the first half. Just
cut out the 2 World Cups or whatever, and just right to the end.
Just the overweight Maradona.
Just straight to 94 World Cup. That's it.
Pretty much, yeah.
I thought you guys forgot something interesting. The money aspect. Like basketball players get paid more than footballers at the top. I think in general, the average is higher, but definitely at the top get paid a considerable amount more. And I think that is a decent factor to bear in mind. And I think their sponsorship money is crazy, way more than a footballer, especially if you're like a star. So I think that's something to bear in mind as well. K.Dot.
But anything is a bit harder for you to to get to the top because it's so competitive. Do you see what I mean?
But I think you
So
can
I
get.
think
I think you can get paid easier in basketball, as you said. The moment you've got a niche.
But the thing, I think, from sponsorships angle in it, it's the same 5 NBA players that are sponsored for everything. You know what I mean? Like between LeBron, Steph, and Clay. Whereas, I don't know, my man Andros Tanzan can be doing one Dove commercial. You know what I mean? Like he'll get his.
Yeah. Maybe you're right. I don't know. So I think in summary, we've actually gone as a pod that you'd rather be a footballer than a basketball player. I'm actually quite surprised at that. Even on reflection, I'm thinking maybe being a basketball player. I'm sort of siding with Karim.
Yeah, I was swaying with Tobes.
No surprise.
Superstardom.
Oh,
The Dudley boys again.
I said if I was
The
at
Dudley
top,
boys.
like
Dun, dun.
if I was like, as you said, if I was like a top 10 player, then yeah, I'd rather be a basketball.
I actually, you know what? And I think as well, Tobes, I thought you would go for this. The Excerpt. I think it's kind of cooler being a basketball player. I think it's just, I don't know. It's just got different sauce on it.
A chance with a Kardashian as well. Well, that would be great.
You and the Kardashian. That's a whole other segment. only the Kardashian.
I'm keeping my mouth shut.
Flags versus basketball wives. Yeah, I think that's a different.
That's a different joke. Karim's like, who? Sorry, no, I ain't heard of him. Yeah.
No parla inglés.
Well, very surprised at that, but respect. Football. Football is the roots for us British lads, and it seems like we've slightly sided over to football. I'll be honest, I'm looking at K.Dot and I'm thinking maybe actually being a baller, but the comparisons will go on, so we'll talk about that another time.